You want to join us, Mr. Holland? This time? We had pre-tried this before. I think that Mr. Holland is looking for pleas on 3 of the 5 counts. Court had given a sentencing indication. Just going to get resolved, Mr. Kearns, or do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I'd like to get a resolve, but it would ask the court in consideration of different things going on in Thalayasingham's life as far as people she's required to take care of and hasn't taken care of. It would be a substantial hardship to those people if she were incarcerated. Now, if the court had the ability or the opportunity for any kind of alternate sentencing thing as far as house arrest, anything that would
I think the problem the court has with that, Mr. Kearns, is Ms. Thalayasingam had a prior in this court for the same thing, got a completely suspended sentence, and here she is again, and I believe she has priors elsewhere.
Your Honor, this is her 4th animal cruelty offense.
I thought it was at least the 3rd. I can't imagine that not carrying a jail sentence with it.
unless it could be, how long was the previous case as far as how many years?
The one in this court?
Well,
2017, I don't know about the
I
other.
have that information, Your Honor. There was a conviction in 2001 in the Medina Municipal Court regarding 57 dogs. And there was another conviction in 2001, looks like a few months later. And that was regarding 2 dogs. There was another conviction in 2009 in the Wadsworth Municipal Court. That was 2 dogs. There was a conviction in 2017. So actually it looks like this will be the 5th offense. And that was regarding 22 dogs.
This case is to me it's not felony, but I guess it's not.
Well, it's a first-degree misdemeanor instead of a second.
As far as the previous the indication as to how long she was on probation, how many?
5 years.
5 years.
Was the indication. I think it's important that Ms. Thalayasingam not have companions.
You're saying that the previous conviction was for with a 5-year probation?
No, I'm saying I would put on probation for 5 years. This
Just asking the court if, with that probation hanging over her head, if the court would consider that what she has going on with taking care of other people as far as any kind of jail sanction.
honestly, it doesn't make any difference to me. I think anything less than 9, and I'm only indicating 90 days. It's a 5th offense. I mean, anything less than that is going to be demeaning to the seriousness of this. It seems like the line. I've been expecting this one. And give her a lane at pre-trial and pass this on.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to get that done as soon as we can. Judge Warner's trying to get her out to a CECF.
Okay.
Judge, as far as the report dates, females in the jail, how far out is?
Mrs. Royce?
You know, Your Honor, I'm very uncertain. I know that we have a lot of rescheduling.
All I can tell you is what I know. Right now, the jail policy is they are not taking any deferred sentences because the jail is at capacity, and they are turning away everything that is not a violent misdemeanor or felony. And I don't know how long that will last.
Okay.
That's our current circumstance. I mean, I can schedule it, and I will. How long it takes for her to actually get in there is outside my control.
Okay.
I would probably set it sometime in the summer and hope for the best. I think we're kidding ourselves if we set it before then.
Okay. Your Honor, thank you. With that, we would like to get the matter taken care of. I have explained my client trial rights, and she does want to accept responsibility. And then, does Mr. Holland, do you have any preference as to which counts?
No, they're all identical. They're all charges of 959.131D1, each one pertaining to 5 separate dogs. So
My preference would be first three, the A, B, and C charges. More convenient for the court.
Your Honor, as to the A, B, and C charges, as court commissioner, withdraw the prior pleas of not guilty, and in place of that pleas of no contest, waiving for the report, we consent to find guilt by the court on those 3 charges.
Thank you, Mr. Kearns. I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm sure I'm not saying your name right. How do you pronounce your last name?
Thalayasingam.
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 Give us your name.
Thalayasingam.
Thalayasingam. Thalayasingam. All right. Ms. Thalayasingam, do you understand what's going on here today?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Kearns is telling me that you want to plead no contest to 3 of these counts of animal cruelty. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you do that, you are giving up certain rights?
Yes.
You're not going to be trial. You won't have a chance to confront your accusers, present evidence, or testify. State won't have to come in here and prove you guilty. I'm going to find you guilty today. I'm going to go ahead and sentence you today. And this case is going to be over. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You understand there's going to be a jail sentence here?
Yes.
And you're doing this voluntarily now?
Yes.
Who's going to accept your plea? I'm finding that they were entered knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Mr. Holland, I know I've heard thumbnail sketches of the facts before, but I think I'd like to hear a report.
yes, Your Honor, just to summarize the report, there was the animals were found. There were 25 animals found in this home. There was conditions of extreme feces and urine. Smell was so strong it made the officers' eyes water and nose burn. There were people at the residence who were assisting with the officer who were dry heaving because of the smell. I exited the house multiple times to get fresh air, says the report. There were approximately 15 kennels, some holding dogs and some were empty. There were 4 dogs that were found dead inside of kennels. There was not any feces in the yard, indicating that the animals had not been removed from these conditions of extreme filth in some time. Temperature readings indicated that it was over 90 degrees Fahrenheit within the kennels. 25 live dogs were removed, 4 dead animals.
All right, thank you, Mr. Holland. Based on that report, the court's going to find the defendant guilty of the first 3 counts of animal cruelty set forth in our file. The 4th and 5th counts, Mr. Holland?
Your Honor, sorry, I should also mention that the defendant was identified as the owner and keeper of the animals.
Thank you.
By the officer, talking to her and finding her at the residence. The other 2 charges, Your Honor, we would move to dismiss at defendant's cost.
Thank you. That motion's granted. Mr. Kearns, anything else you want to say on behalf of the client?
Nothing additionally mentioned, Your Honor. Thank you.
How about you, ma'am? Anything else you want to say? Well, the court is going to make some findings here. I mean, obviously, there's conditions of that severity and dogs left to suffer and die inside the kennel crates. It's about as bad as it gets. I can't imagine what they must have gone through before they died. Is there any indication that they died from starvation, Mr. Holland?
The veterinarian decided that there would be, they would be unable to make any meaningful findings because of the length of time they
The
were.
state of the remains.
Yes.
Almost unimaginable to me. I mean, absolutely horrific. So I am finding, based on the facts in this case, that this is the worst form of this offense. I can't imagine a worse one. I'm at a loss to understand why it's not a felony. I'm sure it's not, as Mr. Holland would know. But it's shocking to me that this isn't a felony. I think a jail sentence is necessary. I think it needs to be a significant one. I think that maximum consecutive sentences are appropriate under the statute, given the severity of the offense and the amount of suffering involved, and the fact that this is the defendant's fifth conviction for the same thing. I'm going to, on count one, sentence the defendant to 180 days in the Ashland County Jail for animal cruelty. 90 of those will be suspended. I do feel compelled to give you some credit for accepting responsibility. But I have to tell you, in all honesty, I really think a prison sentence would be appropriate here. It's not available to the court, but that's what I think would be appropriate. On count two, I'll be a sentence of 180 days. We're going to suspend all of that. It'll be consecutive to the sentence on count one. Be an additional fine of $100 in costs. Of course, trying to take the defendant's financial circumstance into account. On the third count, it'll also be a sentence of 180 days, also suspended, also consecutive, and also a fine of $100 in costs. It's going to leave you 540 jail days, which is the maximum jurisdictional limit this court can impose. 450 of those will be suspended, which is why I say I think this is an extremely light sentence. I hope you will not give me any reason to regret that, but it is going to be a probationary term of 5 years, which is very unusual in this court. I almost never do it. I'm going to do it here because I want to make sure that you don't have any animals under your control. I'm going to order that the defendant get a mental health assessment. There's obviously something wrong here, that you can do this to these animals. There has to be something wrong. And we'll see if we can find out what it is. It will be part of the defendant's probation that she is not to harbor, keep, possess, or own any companion animal. Your client's not engaged in the business of agriculture, is she, Mr. Finn?
No, Your Honor.
Any companion animal or livestock? Does the Humane Society wish to be able to do its own inspections?
Yeah, my understanding is that we were in agreement that under this plea that the defendant would consent to inspections. She, I think, in fact, lives in Wayne County.
Okay.
So I don't know who we would get to do that, but we will find a way.
Well, the court's going to make that order that the defendant's premises will be subject to random unannounced inspection. Both by the court's probation officers and the designees of the Humane Society. The defendants to cooperate with that process. Will also be in order of the court that defendants refrain from the use of illegal drugs, does include marijuana, includes any compound containing THC. To obey the law, report to probation as ordered. Let's give her a report date, sometime maybe a late summer.
Yes, sir. And that's set for August 29th at 9 a.m.
8/29/2023 at 9 o'clock, Ms. Thalayasingam. You'll report next door to the county jail to do your 90 days. Probation starts today.
There are two other matters, if I may.
Sure.
There was an agreement to pay $1,500 in reimbursement for Caravan to the Humane Society.
Okay.
And Your Honor, it's also my understanding that the court was to impose a lifetime ban pursuant to 959.99 C6A on the possession or keeping of companion animals.
I'll make that order, Mr. Holland. Can you provide me with a judgment entry?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am going to order the $1,500 in reimbursement to the Humane Society.
Your Honor, it is called reimbursement. There was a case recently I had where the court made a big deal about the difference between the two words.
Is that not what I said?
Reimbursement.
Yes. Reimbursement.
Reimbursement, right.
It makes a difference in the way we pay it too. When we collect it, reimbursement comes ahead of restitution on our dispersal orders. All right. Mr. Thalayasingam, Officer Dress is going to meet you out in the lobby. She'll get you signed up for probation, see if all your terms and conditions with you. Any further discussion?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Holland.
Thank you very kindly.
Did you have the Russell matter, Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Go back to that.
Yes.
Can we have her out, please, after strikes?